Hello everyone, it's Lesley Oman from Hungry Heffy Crafts again. Thanks for joining me for another Hungry Heffy Crafts video. And today I have a super cheesy card to share with you guys. I have teamed up some distress inking with a little watercoloring and mix and match stamping to create this card. First of all, I'm using some watercolor cardstock here and my mini blending tool to completely cover a piece of this cardstock with some yellow and orange tones. I'm using squeezed lemonade and wild honey, and I've sped up the video because it took a little while going back and forth to get it nicely blended. Then I came in with my stitched rectangle die and cut a panel out of this cardstock and then spritz it with some plain water using my distress sprayer and picked up the excess with a paper towel. This gives a nice distressed look. So I had these two little critters stamped and painted from a previous project, and this guy is from the Lunar Animal stamp set from Mama Elephant. So I'm adding a third one. I'm going to stamp this onto a little scratch of watercolor cardstock using Memento Tuxedo black ink, and I'm using a water brush to paint this little guy in. I'm using watercolors, like I said. The ones that I have are the Kuretake Gansei Tambi watercolor set, and from previous projects I had mixed up some paint onto palettes, and these guys are so small that I only have to pull out the palette and reactivate the ink that's already on there. I don't actually normally need to bring out my big full watercolor set, which is great. Adding some pink to his ears and also a little bit of pink to the cheeks to give him a nice blush. I wanted to darken up his nose, so I'm using a fine liner pen to darken that up. And now I have my three little guys, two which are brown colours and then the one which is a grey tone. So I'm just going to fussy cut these little guys out, but I wanted to mention that you may notice that one of these mice has the tail on the other side, and I did that by masking off the tail. I didn't ink it up. And then I turned my stamp upside down and stamped the tail separately so that I could get a little bit of variation. I have two sets of Spellbinder circle dies, the small and the large, and I pulled out some small circles from each and then using some washi tape taped them on and run it through my Cuddlebug. For one of my little guys, I wanted to have his hands overhang the edge of one of the cut circles. So I used a craft knife to cut along the stamped image and then a Copic fine liner to colour some black along the edges. Next, I'm going to move over to the greeting. I've stamped the word birthday from the big scripty greetings, big scripty words set, and I'm going to be mixing and matching some of the other stamps that I have in my stash to create the sentiment have a mice birthday. Have a is from the Lovable Legends stamp set. The stamp actually says have an, but I masked off the N. And then for the word mice, I had to stamp each letter at a time. So I used the V from the have upside down, the I from birthday in the same Lovable Legends stamp set, and then the C came from a stamp in the Mermaid for You stamp set, and the stamp read Wee Mermaid for each other. So the word each had a C in there, and the E as well. Next, I'm using my trimmer to trim this down, but I didn't trim around the Y because I wanted to use my scissors to carry on almost like a die would go around the stamped image. I want this back panel to be raised up, so I'm adding lots of foam tape to the back, and then I can stick on my little mice in place. So I've added the two mice at the top, and the third mouse is going to go on top of the greeting, and this is going to go here. But I really wanted this to stand out, so I thought I'd add some grey cardstock. I've flipped over my greeting and I'm tracing all the way around the greeting with a pencil, and then I cut that out with my scissors. So now I have a piece of grey cardstock exactly the same shape and size as my stamped greeting cardstock, and I'm using some glue to stick that on top but offset it slightly. Now you'll notice here that I got some glue in my finger and I made a big sticky mess on top of my stamp grating. However, I have this little tool, it's a Xyron sticky eraser or glue eraser, something like that, and it works really well if you ever get those sort of grey black smudge marks from glue and adhesive. I really recommend it. To adhere the grating panel, I realized that white circle is going to be deeper than the yellow, so I had to layer up the foam that would be on the white section with 2 layers, but the bits that were going to be on the yellow section with just 1 layer. And the same with the little mouse. To finish off the card, I thought I would add a few little sequins, and so I used some clear sequins, white, and this goldy and like a browny copper color as well. I don't know how I'm going to get this fit in an envelope with this little guy overhanging the edge, but I thought he was too cute, I couldn't remove him. Thanks very much for watching the video today. Please do give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and you can hop on over to hungryheffycrafts.com to see more of my projects. Thank you for watching and have a lovely day. Bye!